I want to start talking to you about the power of saving and make sure you stick around until the end because the most important part, the biggest value is going to be at the end. So I want you to imagine that you have an extra $250 every month. And maybe this $250 comes from reducing the payments on your debt. In the other videos, I suggested to you that you make minimum payments only. Do not pay more than the minimums. And in doing so, this should free up some cash every month for you to be able to save. So make sure you check out those videos, but imagine you have that $250 a month. And I want to share with you an example. So you've got that extra $250 a month. And imagine, if you will, you also have a car loan that is a $20,000 total loan. It's a 5-year term at 6%. Your principal and interest, the monthly payments are $387 a month. Now, if you took that extra 250 and applied it to the loan, you would have it paid off in a little under 3 years and have saved yourself $1,400 in interest. However, I'd like you to imagine that you take that same $250 each and every month and you put it in a savings account instead. And in this savings account, you earn 6%. Right now, many money markets are paying over 5%. Achieving the 6% isn't going to be tough. In fact, we're going to look at some of the stock market gains over the last 3 years. And at this channel, we'll talk about how much, say, the S&P 500 has earned over the long term. It's well over the 6% on average. So back to the example, $250 each and every month for 3 years is $3,000 a year, $9,000 over the course of the 3-year period. If we have that invested then at 6%, you'll have $9,858 at the end of the 3-year period. And this is the other beauty of this. At that stage of the game, that is your payoff balance for your loan. You now could pay off the car if you chose to, or you could keep saving. If you did keep saving and you kept putting away the $250 a month for the full 5-year period, you will have now accumulated $17,500. At this stage of the game, you've got a car that you've been driving around for 5 years. But hopefully you also like the idea that you've got $17,500 sitting in a savings account. It might just be worthwhile for you to keep saving. But now you don't have a car loan payment of $387 a month. So if you take the $387 and the $250 and you keep saving that every month, at the end of another 5-year period, you will have accumulated almost $68,000. Now, a couple things to consider here. Point one, chances are over that 10-year period, you're going to have a few repairs, right? You've been driving around probably a used car since your loan was only $20,000. And now you've driven it around for 10 years. If you're good to the car, you might not have had too much in repairs, but this isn't something we can plan for. But you also have a lot of savings to rely on to help you pay for anything that comes up. You also have the cash if you chose to just buy a new car for cash. But I gotta tell you, it's far more impactful to keep letting this grow and get another loan at lower interest. And do you want to know why? This is why. People who have had money saved over the course of the last 3 years, again, the 3 years that you could have put the 250 toward paying off the loan and only saved $1,400 in earnings, people over the last 3 years in the S&P 500 have earned 34%, over 10% a year. Now, the stock market isn't a winner every year. It's not. But over the long term, it has produced significant values well above standard interest rates in most seasons. In fact, let's do this in Google. What is the average earnings in the S&P 500 over the last 20 years? Over 10%. Even if we adjust it for inflation, almost 8%. And by the way, if you put your money in an S&P 500 fund, there's very low fees. And here's why I told you to hang on until the end. When you have this money saved, you have choices, you have options, you have control, and you have less fear. The person who has $17,000 in a savings account, $68,000 in a savings account, can decide to buy a new car if they choose, or continue to drive around the older one so they can keep saving. There's a lot less fear when we have the money saved. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Short, sweet, and to the point. I'm glad you stuck around. Please subscribe. There's going to be a lot more videos with a lot more good information, and I want to help you get fearless with your finances. And like this video, and be fearless and have fun.